What the frick? Yonggary? Really? This movie basically answers my question of what would happen if the Asylum or Yui Bowl for that matter made a mockbuster of Godzilla 1998 with plot points that rip off Independence Day and The Fifth Element. I'm also going to tell you that this is easily one of the worst films I've ever seen in my entire life. Oh God, where do I begin with this? The movie's CGI effects are unbelievably terrible and on par with Mortal Kombat Annihilation and An American Werewolf in Paris. In fact, there are some scenes in where the CGI effects look unfinished. How did anyone look at this and give it a gold star of approval? Just how and why? But sadly the bad effects are the least of this movie's main problem. Despite this being a Korean production, most of the actors are American. I guess it was a way of trying to attract a bigger international market. To the people who said that Matthew Broderick's acting in Godzilla 1998 was bad, his acting is Oscar-worthy compared to any of the actors in this film. The acting ranges from dull and lifeless to downright hammy and over the top. The screenplay is littered with a lot of laughably awful dialogue, such as "No. It isn't real, do you smell it, doctor? It smells so old, compared to this guy, Godzilla is a pussy. More on that later, Mr. Monster, I'd like you to meet my little friend. Barbecue this bucko, and you're my creation. I made you." The characters are just some of the worst I have ever seen in a movie. The military men are just beyond generic and mostly serve as filler. Holly has personality and charisma of a slice of white bread. The evil Dr. Campbell, who acts like a cross between a poor man's Jeffrey Combs and a bootleg Nicolas Cage for some reason, was a lame villain who dies at the end of the first act. The aliens are just as stupid as the Psychals from Battlefield Earth. The photographer disappears without any explanation. Psyker comes completely out of nowhere. Speaking of the plot, it is basically a knockoff of Godzilla 1998 with plot points that also rip off Independence Day and The Fifth Element as mentioned earlier. I mean, we have an alien invasion storyline, the elderly military colonel does a kamikaze attack similar to Russell Cast's heroic sacrifice, and one of the blasts clearly looks way too similar to the iconic White House destruction from said film. The scene in where the bones of Yonggary are brought to life while seeing muscles and skin forming, obviously rips off Lilo's Rebirth and the alien's spaceship looking like a leftover model from said film. Hell, this film also plagiarized numerous scenes from Godzilla 1998. Such as a guy gets stomped on by the monster, Godzilla 98, except the guy dies, a helicopter pilot tries to fly away and the monster bites said chopper, Godzilla 98, the monster arrives at a city by emerging from the water, Godzilla 98, the military causing more damage to the city than Yonggary, Godzilla 98, a skyscraper even collapses in a similar fashion to the Chrysler Building from Godzilla 98, and the cover on the DVD rips off the poster of Godzilla 1998. I honestly can't believe that this crap was the most expensive South Korean film ever made at the time, and it cost $13.5 million. The fact that one of the film's most famous lines is compared to this guy, Godzilla is a pussy, shows how much of an arrogant egotist Kim Hyung-rae and the makers of this movie are. He can't direct a film to save his own arse, and I can't believe that the Korean film industry gave him another chance to direct after this travesty. I may not be the biggest Godzilla fan, but you don't see me calling the Big G stupid and insulting the franchise. The only redeeming qualities of this shite are it has plenty of unintentional comedy and some well-designed miniatures. It's so bad that it makes Pacific Rim Uprising look like the original Pacific Rim. It makes Gamera's Super Monster look like Guardian of the Universe, it makes Godzilla's Revenge look like the original Godzilla, and it makes APE look like the original King Kong. Overall, screw this movie to hell and back. It gets a final verdict of a 1 out of 10. Let us know if the comments below, like, dislikes, subscribe. What's your opinion on this film? Or thanks for watching, see you later. Bye.